telling you, you have mastered this art of creating the village around you with these two young people. Are they looking for a Smurfette or a Smurf?
You talking about
The kitties.
here? They're looking for something that's not blue.
So how did things go from Rihanna being a huge Beyoncé fan to them acting like strangers? At first, it looked like a sweet mentor-type friendship. Rihanna looked up to Beyoncé. She called her an inspiration and admired how Beyoncé owned the stage. She even told stories about how Beyoncé once wrote her a short handwritten note and signed it with love, something Rihanna kept close like a treasure. To her, Beyoncé was that big sister she could learn from, someone who had already walked the path she was beginning. And to be fair, Beyoncé seemed warm at first too. She gave Rihanna advice, told her to loosen up on stage, and to just have fun while performing. It really looked like sisterhood, one star helping another rise. But that didn't last long. As Rihanna's fame exploded, something shifted. The friendly energy disappeared. Mentions stopped, public support faded, and fans noticed. Because no matter how many years passed, these two never did a single collab.
What's happened to you is kind of a whirlwind. How are you feeling about your second single coming out before your album even drops?
I am so happy about that because, you know, people could get confused about Plenty Replay being so big and thinking I'm a one-hit wonder, and it's so glad that we get the opportunity to show them that that's not what we're about. We're about making and selling albums and developing a real artist here, so I'm glad about that.
In an industry where big names often work together for hits, that silence said a lot. But the more you look into it, the more it seems like this isn't just about egos or competition. According to some reports and insider claims, there might be something much deeper going on. Allegedly, Rihanna didn't just leave the music scene to focus on Fenty out of business interest. She may have been walking away from something toxic. And Beyoncé, according to whispers, might have been connected to what she was trying to get away from. Let's rewind to the early days. When Rihanna first came on the scene, she was just a teenager trying to make her dream come true. Jay-Z was the man who gave her that chance. But behind the fame and success, there were disturbing rumors about what really went down when she signed her contract. Some say Jay-Z's interest in her wasn't only professional.
It's very surreal, and it's been 25 years of just working really hard and trying my best to keep growing and keep opening up doors. So I'm just very honored, very honored.
Allegedly, during her signing meeting, he cornered her and pressured her to sign, even telling her that she could either walk out with a deal or go out the window. And this wasn't a metaphor. The office was on the 29th floor. That's not mentorship. That's intimidation. If that story's true, it explains why Rihanna might have felt scared and trapped so early in her career. And when she turned to Beyoncé, the one woman she believed could understand, she got silence. No support, no empathy, just quiet distance. Because here's where it gets even more suspicious. You probably remember that old reality show moment when Diddy made his band members walk for hours just to get a slice of cheesecake. Everyone thought it was just TV drama, a funny moment in music history. But years later, one of the group members, Freddie P., came forward saying that cheesecake wasn't even for Diddy. He said it was for Beyoncé. According to him, Beyoncé was upstairs the whole time while Diddy humiliated those young guys on camera, making them walk across the city for her dessert. Freddie claims Diddy told them, "Take that upstairs to Beyoncé." And here's the kicker, the timeline actually matches. Back then, Beyoncé and Diddy were often seen hanging out at industry events, so it's not far-fetched that she could have been there. Now, let's think about that. Why would Beyoncé be around during something so degrading? Why would she be okay with that kind of humiliation? It paints a very different picture from the perfect image the world has of her. And the more you look into other claims, the stranger it gets. DayBaby himself talked about being invited to one of those private Diddy parties around 2020. He said that as the night went on, Diddy kicked almost everyone out except a few guests, maybe 15 people, and that's when things started getting weird. According to him, Beyoncé was there. She walked up to him, introduced herself, and started a conversation in a very unusual way. And this isn't a one-time rumor. Over the years, several people who've been around that circle have described those parties as having secret rooms and unspoken rules. It's said that if you didn't play along, you wouldn't last in that world. So let's go back to Rihanna. She's 17, she's new, she's impressionable, and she walks into this same environment. She sees what's going on, and she says no. She refuses to be part of that world. And when she does, she suddenly starts getting blacklisted and overlooked.
We don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did it one more.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
Look at what happened with her Anti album. That project was supposed to be a huge moment, but out of nowhere, the album leaked on Tidal, a platform owned by Jay-Z. That leak forced Rihanna to release the album early, messing up her whole rollout. Then, just weeks later, Beyoncé dropped Lemonade, a perfectly polished visual album with full promotion and press everywhere. Fans noticed how strange that timing was. Rihanna's album barely got pushed, while Beyoncé's dominated headlines for months. Even during the Tidal press event where both were present, they didn't hug, didn't smile, didn't even acknowledge each other. They stood on opposite sides like strangers. That's not sisterhood, that's tension. And multiple people who were there said everything about that event was staged, where they stood, what they said, even how long each camera stayed on them. It was all planned so the two wouldn't cross paths. That's how deep the separation ran. After that, Rihanna completely changed direction. She stopped chasing music charts and poured her soul into building Fenty, something she could fully own. People thought she was just switching lanes, but maybe she was protecting her peace. She'd seen too much and decided she'd rather be in control than stay around people who used power and manipulation to win. And look how that choice turned out. Fenty made her a billionaire, independent and untouchable. She no longer needed the same industry that once tried to control her. Still, when you look at the bigger picture, the leaked album, the shady party rumors, the cold relationship with Beyoncé, it all starts to fit together in a way that's hard to ignore. Maybe Rihanna didn't just leave the music scene, maybe she escaped it. And the story about Jay-Z's behavior during her signing day makes it even darker. If it's true that he threatened her or made her feel unsafe, it's no wonder she distanced herself from both him and Beyoncé. That kind of experience can change a person forever. So the question becomes, was Rihanna being dramatic, or was she simply done protecting people who never protected her? When you line up all the clues, the leaked projects, the creepy party stories, and the silence from Beyoncé, it looks less like a rivalry and more like survival. Rihanna saw something she didn't want to be part of, and she walked away. That's not weakness, that's strength. Meanwhile, Beyoncé stayed in that circle, kept quiet, and kept her image polished. Maybe that's how she survives in that system. Maybe that's why she never publicly showed support for Rihanna again. Either way, fans can see the difference now. One woman built her empire on her own terms, while the other stayed within a system full of secrets. So what do you think? Did Beyoncé know what was happening behind the scenes? Did she choose to look the other way? Or was Rihanna the only one brave enough to step out of the storm before it destroyed her too? Whatever the truth is, it's clear these two women's stories are deeply connected. but not in the way people expected. And maybe that's why, after all these years, we still haven't seen a single song with both of them. Not because they couldn't make magic together, but because one of them decided she was done with the kind of world the other chose to stay in. The truth always finds its way out, no matter how deep it's buried. Maybe Rihanna didn't just leave. Maybe she escaped. And as more stories unfold, one thing's clear: the music industry hides more than hits. Stay tuned because this story isn't over. It's only getting started.